Hello, excellent people. This is your daily excellence for April 16th, 2021. And today I want to talk about how you could always do more, but it's not going to have the spin you think it's going to have. So let me run something down for you, right? You could always make more cold calls. You could always spend more money on marketing. You could always film more videos. You could always take more photos for your Instagram. You could always kiss more babies. You could always spend less time with your family. You could always never see your friends. You could also skip your granddad's funeral. But here's the question: why? Why would you hustle that hard? What is the reason behind your hustle? What happens when you get where you were going to, where you were aiming for? What happens when you get to where you wanted to be 5 years ago, only to find out that it wasn't what you thought it was going to be in the first place? What happens if you can no longer enjoy that place because you sacrificed so much of your essential self along the way? I'm all about sacrifice. I really am. I think sacrifice is one of the most undervalued, I want to call it a skill. It's one of the most undervalued paths to success. I think that sacrifice is how you get there. But I think that wise sacrifice, intentional, deliberate, thoughtful sacrifice is the key. And here's the thing: if you're sacrificing yourself and you're sacrificing your present happiness and you make yourself miserable, how is that miserable person going to appreciate the thing that you're trying to get to? Do you think that you can just become miserable but successful and then magically, once you are at a certain tier of success, just flip a switch and no longer be miserable? I don't believe it works that way. I really don't. And so I have a different model that I want to share with you. I believe that what you have to do is you have to pick that goal, that 5 year goal, that 10-year goal, that 20-year goal, that 1 year goal, or that 1 month goal. It doesn't matter, right? You pick that goal and you aim at it and you decide, what do I need to do to get there? And then you remove your time constraint completely and you say, okay, I'm going to get there, but I don't care how long it takes me to get there as long as I enjoy the ride along the way. What would that life look like? So now you dial back the intensity, you dial back the hustle. You don't quit hustling because you're still living your life aiming at that target. And you're still taking day-to-day actions that are in accordance with that aim. But now you're also taking the time, instead of making 40 more calls after 6 p.m., you go home and spend time with your family, or you go to the gym and spend time with yourself, or you do whatever it is that you do, right? What would that life look like if you enjoyed the journey, if you enjoyed the ride, and knew that you're moving towards your aim? And here's how you know. You know by checking in regularly. You check in daily, you check in weekly, you check in monthly, and you tell people what it is you're aiming at. Okay? That's the key. So you don't even have to ask for accountability. Don't burden them with your goals. Just tell them. Tell them in conversation, just share. Be like, yeah, I'm super excited about this thing that I'm working towards. And that's enough. If you quit talking about it, they'll ask you if they care about you. Like, hey, I haven't heard you talk about that thing in a month or two. You'll be like, oh yeah, I got really busy and well, I kind of lost sight of my aims. And they'll be like, and that's when you have to do your own due diligence and you have to check yourself and you say, okay, I just admitted that I've lost sight and I need to either recalibrate my aim, or maybe you say, that goal wasn't for me after all, because that's also a thing that we we have a contract with our past, present, and future selves, right? So our present self has a contract with our past self in the sense that our past self is the one who got us here, and so we have an obligation to not discard anything that the past self set in motion carelessly. That doesn't mean we have to do everything our past self wanted to do, but it means we have to be very, very intentional and very deliberate and very thoughtful about anything that we set aside that they began. And then we have a contract with our future self where we look to them and we say, okay, I want to set you up for success, but I can only set you up for the success as I see success now, not how you're going to see success then. And so you kind of have to be careful not to lock them into something that they can't get out of. Like that's my thing personally is I'm an opportunist at heart, and I don't want to make decisions that lock me in. If a decision locks me into the next 20 years, I'm not going to make it. If it locks me in the next 1 year, I'll make it. There's an exception to this. I do have a wife, right? And I would like to think that I have chosen a partner who I can spend the rest of my life with. And so there are always exceptions to what level of commitment you're able to develop, but you got to be intentional about it. And I tell you, I thought long and hard, and I had lots and lots of serious conversations with her about what our lifestyle was going to be, and what our shared values were, and what our expectations were, and what partnership looked like for us. All of these things, there's a lot that goes into a long-term decision, right? The same should go for any goal that you have. So, I think that's enough for now. This all fits into what we've been talking about with our aiming at excellence, with our aiming at excellence daily, with our aim and re-aim and aim and re-aim, right? So you figure out where you want to go and you hustle and you get there, but you make sure you enjoy the ride, and you make sure that you don't make sacrifices that you didn't mean to make, and you make sure you don't make sacrifices that are inappropriately weighty relative to the reward. Don't make core sacrifices. Don't sacrifice your core being for wealth. Don't sacrifice your core being for fame, because it will lead you to be, it'll lead you to be hollow. If you disregarding unhappy, which probably will happen, but you'll be hollow because you'll have given away your core self. You'll have your exterior, but your interior will be empty, and you'll have to fill it with something else, which can be done, takes work. So don't do it without meaning to, right? So that's what I've got for you today. I appreciate you watching. Comment. Let's talk about it. Give me some examples of how this works for you, how this is of things that you've thought of, or that things that's made you think of in your own life. I'd be very happy to carry these conversations into the comments section and really start digging into what it means to aim at excellence. Thank you.